afternoon, everyone. I'd like to call to order. It is 4:34, the Muskegon County Board of Commissioners Community Development Strategic Plan Committee. At this time, I'd like to take a roll call.
Commissioner Sear.
Here.
Commissioner Javi Wright.
Here.
Commissioner Hughes.
Here.
Commissioner Laring.
Here.
Commissioner Nash.
Here.
Commissioner Pago.
Here.
Chairman Skolnick.
Here.
Commissioner Wilkins.
Here.
Commissioner Brown.
Here. Next item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes of June 17th, 2021. All in favor?
Need a motion.
I would need a motion.
So moved.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Next item on the agenda is public comment on an agenda item. Do we have any public comment on the agenda items at this point?
My God, it's always been.
Thank you.
Okay, yes, Debbie Barnhart, Muskegon County President. On number 17 regarding lot 15, to me, looking at this plotted land here, to me, it looks like that land is landlocked. I imagine we're going for a commercial there, but I don't see any map of borders. And it also said that there was a lot of other lots were approved for 5,000. I'm wondering what time frame was that? Was that last year? Was it 2 years ago? 6 months ago? Wondering if that's really a true good value of the property. But yeah, this map has no key to it, so I really can't tell. The other one would be number 18 for lots 25 and 26. It's residential. Again, the borders aren't mapped out. Would they even be possibly considering this being split, being that it's residential? It's a huge area for residential. But I would just hope that we could get a better map with maybe a key and some better bordering, because you can't really tell where lot 26 even goes. Does it go beyond the other private property one? Does it, I mean, there's no, just, you can't tell on this. So I was hoping we could do a better job with that. Thank you.
Thank you, Tammy.
Is there any other public comment at this point? We have two items for consideration this afternoon. First one is CDSP 21/07-17. And this is to approve the sale of lot 15 in the county's business park north for $5,000 per acre to D&J Sewer Cleaning, and authorize the chair to sign the purchase agreement contingent on corporate council approval, and further authorize the Public Works Director to sign the notice of probable sale to EPA and Eagle and the closing documents.
So moved.
Any questions, comments, or concerns?
I do have one question. Is Matt still out? Hi, Matt.
How are you?
The people that buy this, they know that that's contaminated land, that
Oh, yes.
everything.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, that's what I wanted to know. Thank you.
All the restrictive covenants go with this. They're
Okay.
aware of them. They
All
see them. Scott Hogan with Foster Swift has been working with me on this for quite some time. And if you see where lot we're selling on the glasses on, it's right in the same cluster of the lots we sold, I think,
Okay,
3 months
that's
ago.
what I thought too. And EPA and Eagle needs to be notified when we sell this.
Yes, Scott Hogan has drafted the notice of probable sale, and then I can sign it, send it off. If you approve this, then I would sign the closing documents.
Thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry. Marcia?
Yeah, I would assume they would have access to hook up with the wastewater treatment facility, given the business
Yes.
sewer cleaning.
Yep, and that was developed. Water and sewer was brought to each lot.
Okay, how many acres is it?
I think it's 5.2 or 5.3.
Chairman Spillane.
Yeah, I question this lot 5. So there's a proposed right of way, but there's no road to it.
Industrial Parkway, they all have access to the street.
It's lot 15.
Oh, okay, this is that one lot. Oh, I see. Okay.
That particular lot 15 not only has a border Industrial Parkway Road, it also has property on I think that's McMillan, so they can even access McMillan.
I would just like to make a comment that, thank you for doing this. This property has been for general, this has been sitting over 15, 20 years.
20 years.
The county has had some expenses of maintaining this area. I believe, Matt, we have a couple people that already bought property there, so this is going to increase our tax base in the county and also help us with the revenue and also not cleaning up. So Matt, thank you for doing this.
Yeah, I mean, the credit goes to the commissioners. You were the ones that were proactive to remove the barriers to entry, the barriers to development, and what has happened. And I'm in negotiation with someone else to sell the remainder.
Yeah, so this is a win for the county. I think it's a win for the community and everything else. So thank you.
Mr. Chair, I'm just curious, these are all public roads, so we don't have to follow it.
Acres of public road industrial parkway has not yet been accepted by the road commissions. Scott Hogan's working on different methods with the site condominium, so that it doesn't have to become a public road.
It's a paved road though.
Oh, yeah, it's a Class A
It's a
road.
nice road.
Yeah.
It's right across from
But
Agars.
if it's not a public road, then there's no obligation to follow it, other than the owner property owner.
But it's not a public road, is it?
It is not right now.
No, it's a private
So
road.
then we still have to follow.
No.
Well, it's a private road.
We plow if it's public.
We don't plow some of it in the winter.
I have a question, Mr. Chair.
Yes.
What is the intended use for this? Are they going to be injecting straight into the sewer system? Or how is this?
Yeah, what he submitted, what he gave us from information from EPA, they're gonna have, it's their business and the name is deceptive. They're actually a small excavating business. So they're gonna have, a storage, on-site aggregate storage and a building to store equipment.
And then one follow-up question for me. I believe this is the same price as the other properties we sold earlier this year at 5,000 per acre.
It is exactly to the other two owners on that cluster. But as we go west of Industrial Parkway Road, the price is going north.
Why is that?
A better property.
What makes it better?
Probably more access or easier.
Access,
Location.
location of the road,
Visibility to the-
further away from the plumes.
That's what I was gonna say. It's
Yeah.
gotta be
You'd have to
farther
drive
away from
out there,
the
shouldn't I?
I'm in discussions with we'll call it developers. I really respectfully prefer not to talk too much about those other ones.
Thank you. Commissioner Basil, you have a
Yeah.
question?
Yes, Mr. Chair. So I just want to clarify, Matt, because you said 5 acres. I think you meant 5,000 per acre. There's actually 20 acres for this sale, or are they only purchasing 5 acres?
They're purchasing lot 15, which I
Right.
believe
It
is 5.2.
says 20.7 acres on my form.
5.2.
Yeah, it does.
No, my paper says 20.75 acres.
Okay, that's for the next motion.
We're not there yet.
Are we not on
We're
lot
on
15?
17 still.
Yeah, we are on
Yeah,
lot
lot-
15.
I mean, on the map says 5.2.
Is acres.
No, my map says 20.75. I just,
Really?
yeah,
Looking at.
lot 15, right?
Right here, that's 15.
That doesn't say, oh, it's lot 19, my bad. I'm gonna have to get
Put
some
your glasses
glasses.
on.
I don't have
I
any.
can't read it at all.
It's a
Yeah.
very small survey. And
5.25 acres. All right, there you go. Thank you. I was in the wrong
Okay,
section.
if there's any other questions, comments, or concerns, we have a motion and support. We'll take a roll call vote.
Commissioner Hughes,
Yes.
Commissioner Laring,
Yes.
Commissioner Nash,
Yes.
Commissioner Pago.
Yes,
Chairman Skolnick,
Yes.
Commissioner Wilkins,
Yes.
Commissioner Seer,
Yes.
Commissioner Hovey Wright,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown.
Yes, thank you, and that passes. Next item for consideration is CDSP 21/07-18. Are you ready?
sorry.
Okay, so this is 18 now we're gonna do. This is to authorize staff to contract with Lisa Vella of 5 Star Real Estate to sell proposed lots 25 and 26 of Business Park North, contingent on corporate council's approval of the contract, and further authorize the chair to sign the agreement.
So moved. Support.
Thank you. Any questions, comments, or concerns regarding number 18?
Yep, Mr. Chair, I do. So Matt, probably you again. So you process, I had my notes, I don't have them with me actually, but I looked at this yesterday. Typically you use an RFP process, this time you used a competitive process.
Okay,
What-
so these lots, the proposed lots, and they're on the bottom right of the map.
Yep.
That's in a residential area, okay? So we've been working with Muskegon area first to market and get the industrial lots moved along. This is not really an industrial area, so myself and Muskegon area first, we don't have the contacts or really the horsepower to move these properties. So we prefer to go through a realtor. Now, we can do an RFP, take, a few months to select a realtor. However, the land bank has already done a competitive process and selected a realtor who has properties listed for the county. So I'm just asking, can I just use this person?
Mr. Chair, still,
Yes.
more questions. Okay, so can you clarify to me where specifically, I'm familiar with the area, but what specifically these two lots is
Sure.
there private property between? What roads is that between? I know Agard's in here somewhere, but,
It's this lot here.
right, but can you tell me geographically, like if I'm driving
What's the
down
road?
Whitehall Road?
This is,
River Road.
this is River Road here.
Okay,
This is, I believe this is Central.
it's Central Road. So this is resident, what is it zoned?
Residential here.
What is zoned residential? R1 or R2 for, do we know what we're selling the property as? We would be selling it as residential then?
Yes, well, the first thing to do here is, you notice we haven't set or suggested a price.
That was my next
Yeah,
question.
the realtor needs to do some market research, and the best way to do it, to be split it up. There's some work to be done there,
Okay,
but no realtor wants to do this unless they're assured they're gonna get the commission from a future sale. So if you were to approve this, Scott Hogan has an agreement ready to go. We'd sign that. Five Star would do the market research, and she might come back with, hey, we need to split it here, here, and here, and I get this much money. I'll bring that back to you to
And
approve those prices.
what are we paying her? I don't see a contract with her, what her fees are.
Commission. It's vacant
Upon
land
the
temp-
sale?
Yeah.
So
upon
she's
sale.
working for free up until upon the sale. And what
Yeah.
is that? Is it the standard percentage?
Yeah,
Right, that's,
residential is 7%, vacant land is 10.
This is vacant.
And this is just on 25 and 26.
Yes.
is that negotiable or?
It's my understanding the realtors have a code where they all charge the same thing.
Yeah, but a lot of them aren't, because of the market, they're not.
Commissioner's calling it.
Yeah, I just have a
2%.
question. This lot 25 is a chunk right in the middle of it that says private property. So that lot is kind of weird. It goes around the piece of private property, so really the only buildable part would be the section at the corner of River and it was like Central. So I mean, it's just odd. I don't really have any solution or anything for that. I'm just pointing it out.
Yeah, and the way we see it is a realtor is gonna know best how to move that property, and they'll know the highest and best use for that property.
Commissioner Holder, did you still have a question?
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure it was gonna be a residential buyer. If it's gonna be in the middle of private property.
Yeah, I mean, the zoning will rule the day there, and that's under Dalton's jurisdiction.
Thank you. Any other questions?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Do you have physical addresses of that piece of private property if I drove out there to look at it?
We probably haven't assigned those yet.
Well, the
For
private, the existing private
yeah.
property that's there. Tony has-
I don't, I can look
Familiar
it
with
up.
the area.
Yeah, I'll look it up on
Yeah,
property.
Well, I
viewer
know
and
where
send it
that's
to you.
at, but this, thank you. I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
yeah, yes, Commissioner Klein.
Yeah, if you had something to say, go ahead, but I just
No,
want to
no,
get my
thank you.
question before we close. So and I'm not asking the name of that customer, you said you're already working on another parcel. It's not these parcels.
No,
Okay, now I have one last question.
Okay, one last question.
Are these lots under the same restrictions as the industrial ones?
there are restricted covenants on them, yes.
So no basements?
I don't know what the rules would be, but that's why we need an agreement with this person that spells out, okay, Foster Swift does this piece, I do this piece, you do that piece. Owning EPA Superfund sites is
Another
not a
question.
blessing.
Yeah, I was just wondering, I thought we already had a county realtor that does county property.
Yeah, it's expired almost a year, 6 months ago, 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Expired.
Also, we don't have anyone on right now. Okay.
So we're
Thank you. If there's no more comment, Matt, I want to
I
thank
do, I
you.
do have
Yes,
more.
yes, sir.
I wanted to ask, so we're only choosing her because she's working with the land bank right now?
Well, I've asked to choose her because she's been through a competitive process by the land bank. And she's currently here, and that would save a lot of work, time and effort to go through another process to hire someone else for property that's probably not the most valuable.
You're only limited to 3 questions today.
That's not true.
I just made that.
Okay.
He's the chair.
Anyway,
Say that.
so he can say whatever he wants, doesn't mean it's valid. So point what Commissioner Nash said, I wasn't aware of that, 'cause I wasn't here last year, so we don't currently have a contract. There's a contract that expired. Are we looking to recontract? Are we gonna do this for a per case basis?
You know, at this point, when we did an RFP several years ago to get a commercial realtor on board, it was for 2 reasons mainly, primarily. One was to get rid of the Brookhaven building and this industrial park north.
Okay.
He was successful at getting rid of Brookhaven. Not so much with the industrial park north, and we, our relationship with Mesquite at first has proven successful with this.
Okay, one more question.
You have another one? Okay.
I do. I might have
Is it
5 more.
pertaining to this motion?
Absolutely.
Okay, well, thank you.
I don't usually go off fast.
Well,
Mr. Ferris, so I remember a couple years ago, there was a big sale that was going to happen. And anyhow, you said you're working with some other ones. Are those any way, shape, or form tied to any kind of marijuana facilities?
No,
Thank you.
But if it was, we can't, you can't even allow us to do that.
Yeah.
That's state.
You shut it down last time. I just wanted to make sure, so
All right, well,
my church is right next to this.
Public Works Matter, I want to thank you again. I know you've done a lot of work, and I know there's a lot of discussion here, but it's my feeling, and it should be of my fellow commissioners, that this has been sitting here for 15, 20 years plus, and it's going to help generate some revenue and bring in some economic development here, and that's what we're here for. Okay, guys?
Mr. Brown,
Yes.
and also, I was gonna make a similar comment, but once these start getting sold, because I know we sold those 2 pieces to excavators. As people see this is a bargain for somebody. That's a lot of land for not so much money, and it's gonna drain on us.
yeah, I mean, it's a bargain, but there's some restrictions and there's some hoops they gotta go through.
Right.
They can't put on an outhouse without getting permission from EPA.
Yeah, I think Commissioner Hughes addressed that.
Because it is pretty polluted out there, the whole
Yeah,
area.
Yeah, this is not someone on the lake. You know,
So on the lake was cool.
yeah, okay. Premier land.
I'm glad to see the sales of what's going in there, so.
Okay, if there's no more discussion, we have a motion and second, and I would ask for a roll call for that. Thank you.
Commissioner Laring,
Yes.
Commissioner Nash,
Yes.
Commissioner Pago,
Yes.
Chairman Skolnick,
Yes.
Commissioner Wilkins, Commissioner Seer,
Yes.
Commissioner Javi Wright,
Yes.
Commissioner Hughes.
Yes.
Commissioner Brown.
Yes, thank you for that. I appreciate everybody's work and communication and good questions. Next on the agenda is unfinished business. Do we have any unfinished business at this point? Not seeing any. Next on the item number 7, new business, and Commissioner Pagel, we have a proclamation for Holton's 150th anniversary. She brought it for attention. Would you like to elaborate on that? please?
Yes, just the 150 years of the sesquicentennial of Fulton Township. It was named after Governor Holt 150 years ago. And they're having a celebration next Saturday and asked a few different elected officials to provide a proclamation resolution. So
Thank you for doing that, and bringing it to
I'll
our
be
attention.
happy to make that motion.
Okay, we have a motion. Support. And support.
Do we
All
have
in
a copy of it?
favor? Do we need a
yes,
roll
yeah,
call?
they sent us a
it
copy.
was emailed and
We have a
attached.
copy in front of everybody. We need a roll call. Oh, thank you, Kathy.
Commissioner Nash, Commissioner Pago,
Yes.
Chairman Skolnick,
Yes.
Commissioner Wilkins,
Yes.
Commissioner Seer,
Yes.
Commissioner Javi Wright,
Yes.
Commissioner Hughes.
Yes.
Commissioner Laring,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown.
Yes. Thank you, and that passes. Do we have any other new business to come across to this, come to this committee? No. Public comment. Any public comment? Thank you. State your name and.
Hi, I'm Tammy again. My first public comment would be that I hope to see it on the agenda next time, that you'll allow 3 minutes for public comment, at least on an agenda item. If you don't want to hear the people talk on anything in general, 3 minutes, I kind of get that, although I think you should. 3 minutes is not that much of your time to ask what your public wants from you. But 3 minutes on a public comment, I think would really help out a lot with some frustration that we could get our questions asked, and hopefully you get some feedback. We get some feedback. And again, I ask that you, during the last of this, you have an opportunity to make some final comments. I would hope that you would take that time to answer the public's questions and give some feedback to us. That's what we're really looking for. We want to know that we're being heard. Next thing, about the drain commissioner. So does the county have a drain commissioner? Yes or no? And of course, with the drain code, we're supposed to have one. I mean, she changed names, but does it really matter? Do we really have a drain commissioner anymore? That would be my question. And lastly, talking about the supervisor and qualifications of a supervisor. If we have a supervisor, say I was a supervisor for something important, the electric on building your home. I'm certainly not qualified for it, but I could supervise it without qualifications apparently, because that's the way some of you here feel about it. That a supervisor, it doesn't matter if they have the qualifications to supervise or not. I just don't understand how any of you could accept that a supervisor doesn't need to be qualified and know the job that they're supervising. I find that very disturbing that any of you would consider that. A supervisor must know what the job is in order to supervise it and be responsible for it. So please consider that, and I would request that Nancy Waters go to the training that's necessary to complete her job and supervise the programming of the election machines. Last year, we heard from her that she would verify that the programming of the machines was corrected and fixed, but apparently that can't be true because she admitted she has no knowledge of anything about the programming. And I hope that gets fixed. It's a very important thing for everybody in our nation. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate your comment. Any other public comment? Yes, sir.
James Kelly, Michigan State University Extension. I just wanted to take a minute to give you a quick update. I've been battling the county spam filter system this afternoon, trying to send Administrator Eisenbach our quarterly report. So once I figured out why my email address won't allow anything to get sent through on the file, you will have about a 6-page document just outlining the updated activities of Michigan State University Extension. I did want to just speak for 30 seconds on the farm facility. Given this is community development, we have now hired someone who will manage the farm facility on the campus of MCC. Clarence Rudat will be starting on August 2nd, so he will be the link locally to MSU Product Center and the network of resources that we can bring into the region to help food processes, food development. So we're excited to have Clarence start shortly, and I know, according to Marty Garenza, there's also additional talk about what the next phase for that will be. So I'm also going to just mention Tanya Powell, our 4-H coordinator, who's been doing a lot of work the last few months. The first 3 pages of this are all about 4-H in Muskegon County. So with that, I will just share that we're excited to be back at the county fair starting next week on the 26th. So hopefully you might be able to stop out and support the county fair as well.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Can I ask, Clarence Rudak, is he local?
Clarence is a Whitehall person. That makes him pretty local, I think. So he is already employed by Michigan State University on the academic side. So he is an ag tech instructor, and is running or has been kind of launching the program at MCC and West Shore Community College, the ag tech program. So yeah, local.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you have any contact information for him?
I can certainly send you by email if I can get some stuff. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Any other public comment? Not seeing any. Thank you. Number 9, any final board comment?
I'd like to make a
Yes,
final comment.
Commissioner Clancy.
So I would like to address Tammy's issues from my perspective that she brought up. not necessarily pertaining to this one, but the drain commissioner issue. This board has been, or the county has been pumping that water for decades out there, maintaining the lake level at the cost of the entire county. The entire county residents have been paying the bill and maintaining those pumps. Last year, the board moved in a direction to try to place that on the residents that surround the lake, so that they're the ones that receive the benefit from the maintenance and the pumping of all that water. And so we would like the burden to not be on the entire county, but the residents that particularly see the benefit of that. And you're right, it's probably not a popular opinion. The county's been doing it for 30 years. They've been getting free pumping for 30 years, maintaining their lake level at my expense and at your expense. So we did make a decision to move that. It may be an unpopular decision within those residents, but it's something that I have been in support of last year and this year. And it's the way the process has worked with some of the other lake levels that have been monitored around. It's the association around the lake that should be pumping that, not the residents of the entire county that may or may not ever go to that lake.
Thank you very much for the explanation. Good information. Any other final board comments? Mr. Nash?
Yeah, I have another comment, and I just wanted to address, because we're in a date and time of misinformation, and I wanted to make sure that people understood that we have a very educated clerk who works tirelessly all the years that I've known her, who is very smart and intelligent and probably know more about the law regarding her job than anybody in the state. And she's just impeccable at not trying to make sure that her job is not only done, but done correctly. And she will fight tooth and nail to make sure that that happens. So any derogatory statements from her is really unwarranted. She really deserves all the respect in the world on how she handles her job and does that for Muskegon County, no matter what side of the aisle you're on. She takes pride in her work, and I know that because I've seen it for over a decade.
Thank you for that comment. Commissioner?
Yeah, I would like to add to what Commissioner Nash said, that the training that you're referring to, Tammy, you know, like in any business, you have a tech department or an IT department that handles the technology. And that's, a clerk would not be expected to know how to program a voting machine. So I take issue with your criticism on that, because she does do a great job. She's highly respected on both sides, and does she's very meticulous in the way she does her work. So I would like to just say that in her behalf.
Thank you.
On her behalf.
Commissioner Pego, do you have any?
I do, since everyone else is responding to Ms. Barnhart, we got a Q&A going instead of public comment only. Lucky you. Regarding your question that you had regarding the name change of Drain Commissioner to Water Resources Commissioner, when I requested that information, I don't know if you heard it or not, but Corporate Counsel, Mr. Homier, did cite that change when that happened. So that is a legal verified under MCL 280.21. That's all.
That's it. Thank you. I have a couple of comments I would like to make. I would like to welcome back Commissioner Wilkins.
Welcome back, Commissioner.
Right for you, and that your help is back. So thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. And we're glad to have you. Chair Skolnick, I don't know if you wanted to make any, we had a tragedy with Doug Bennett here, just over commission. And I don't know if you want to make a comment or public.
You know, I worked with, Doug was chairman of the board when I first got here. And even though we were on pretty opposing sides of the political spectrum, I always enjoyed him and really loved I'm not even sure, was it a motorcycle accident?
Yeah.
Yes.
And his son was there, I understand, we were at the beach at the same time. They weren't
I
together.
didn't know that.
But yeah, that's kind of a major blow to the whole community.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yes.
would like to add, I can't believe I didn't think to say that. Doug Bennett immediately preceded me in the House, and we ran against each other when he won. And I, so when his term was up, when he term limited, I went to him and he helped me get elected to the House. So I owe him a lot. And he was highly respected in the State House. People talked about him as, just a true Democrat who spoke from his heart and really represented the working people very well. His obituary, you want to see his obituary, it's really quite humorous. I'm assuming that his son Ryan wrote it, but he's an amazing man. It's really too bad that accident occurred.
Well-
Commissioner Wilkins, you had a comment?
I would think that it would be nice if we were to send a proclamation to his family.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yes, and we would have that.
We'll work on that.
Yes.
Thank you. Appreciate that and some
The
nice
funeral
comment.
is at the end of, I think it's August 7.
If.
Yeah,
there's-
August 7, so
Thank
we
you.
need something by then.
I'm sure Mark will keep us informed. Thank you for doing that.
Yeah.
If no one other comments, I would like the motion to adjourn.
So moved.